Yo, so Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, first he was begging Trumpito to not come down there and not send the troops and to reallocate his $800 million surplus so he can continue his programs. Then when Trump got doubled down and told him, "No, I'm not. I'm about to just send ICE down there, and when I get down there, Brandon, I'm beating that ass. I'm beating that black ass." So then he got on front of everybody and was like, he we don't want the ICE to come. As a matter of fact, he signed an executive order preventing police, firemen, or any authorities to assist the National Guard when they come down there to do this big deportation thing. All right, so this is the thing. When he told the Chicagoans that day, he was like, "Chicago is safe. It's super safe. Crime is down 30%." I just seen they were protesting downtown. For one, Chicago has 50 plus shootings every weekend. It's definitely still one of the most dangerous places in the world. When they was talking about it, they started having a protest today. The DHS will be in Chicago tomorrow, so they're pre-protesting right now. And I just want to denote that I don't think Brandon. I think Brandon Johnson lives on the knife side of Chicago. He's rich, you know. So maybe in his community, Chicago is safe. And I also seen hundreds of people downtown Chicago protesting, and they were yelling, "Chicago is safe, Chicago." But I'm gonna tell you this, YouTube. I'm gonna be honest. They were all white people, and for one, they clearly probably thought that it was safe, but the other side of Chicago is not safe, and they're planning on protesting too, just in a different way. They was on there on the same internet talking about how they have switches, and they was like, "This is not California," and it's true. California has gun laws. You're not allowed to have a gun in California, like pretty much at all. Chicago and the Midwest, Chicago used to not have guns until 3 years ago, and now they're open carry, like the Midwest is. That means everybody's got guns down there now, and they use them. I don't think that the National Guard is going to have the same type of protest in Chicago that they had in California. You know what I mean? Like people say that California is dangerous, but it's not as dangerous as Chicago. Period. The people, the mindset is different now. California's prettier. LA is way prettier. It's got the water. You know what I mean? But it's not as dangerous, and the mindset of the people is totally different now. Soon as they come down there, do you think that they're gonna be protesting like how they did in California? No, ICE, no, they're not. They're gonna start looting. Around this time every year, I go to Chicago, Illinois for the taste. I love the taste. Chicago is a melting pot of all ethnicities. They have the best food in the United States, in my opinion. It's argued. Don't start talking about Louisiana, but they have every single genre of food. So much food in Chicago, and so many different cultures in Chicago, and so many immigrants. Now, this ain't like California immigrants that are like workers or farmers. These are city immigrants, cartels and TDAs, and even like the Pakistani people and the Indian people that work in the stores. They have been changed by Chicago culture, which is gang culture and it's dangerous, you know? My point is this. When Brandon Johnson told the police not to participate with ICE, I don't think that he realized that he just left the gates of hell wide open. And it's going to end up being embarrassing. We're going to see tomorrow. As of right now, as soon as they start getting down there, people start breaking in to close down malls because they start closing down the mall. People start breaking into malls while they was having a protest on Grand Street. Now, if you've never been to Chicago, Grand Street and all of downtown, it's super safe. That's why they was down there going, Chicago is safe. It's so safe down there. They just built a new college on Michigan Street. Michigan Street downtown Chicago used to be called Jewtown, and it was like the ghettoest place in the world. They tore that all down. It's beautiful. It is super safe until you get on that train and go two exits, two exits in any direction. Then it's not safe no more. So Brandon, I'm seeing Brandon probably catching inciting riot charges. after they riot tomorrow. That's my prediction for what's going to happen. It's not going to be the same outcome. They're not going to be throwing 40 ounces at the ice like how they did in Cali. They're not going to do that. They have switches. As a matter of fact, go on YouTube. If you look right now, they're on there talking about when they come to Chicago, we got them switches. And when I'm talking about them, y'all know who I'm talking about. They got. It's not the same city, yo. Yo, my name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. Make sure you tap that like and subscribe button. Let's get right to the video.
Chicago on Saturday with more expected as ICE looks to ramp up crackdown efforts. This as President Trump traded barbs with Illinois Governor Pritzker on social media about the enforcement operations. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin is live in Chicago with the latest. Hello, Mike.
Operations have not materialized. What have materialized here in the city of Chicago are protests. 3 different protests took place yesterday. Yesterday evening, we saw hundreds gather in Millennium Park. A lot of the usual actors that we see at different protests. And the reason for that is 11 different groups that often protest around the city of Chicago came together under the umbrella of the Coalition Against the Trump Agenda. So they were focused on the Trump agenda, but you saw people protesting everything from the Palestinian cause to trans rights. They marched around the city without major incident. There was another protest that formed up in Broadview, and that is because an ICE processing facility is being set up there on a temporary basis. There were also protests at the Naval Station north of Chicago, and that is where ICE is largely headquartering, or certainly they're using that as a logistical hub. The whole thing was inflamed yesterday by a post on Truth Social from President Trump in which he channeled Robert Duvall from the movie Apocalypse Now, saying, "I love the smell of deportation in the morning." That triggered the ire of Illinois Democrats who had all sorts of negative things to say about that particular post. So while all the protests are going on, we still haven't seen major ICE operations. What we did see yesterday, 2 homicides and 5 people were shot in the city of Chicago since noon yesterday. Mike, back to you.
Mike Tobin live in Chicago. Mike, thanks very much.
Got it.
For more, let's bring in New York Congresswoman and member of the House Intelligence Committee, Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be on.
So you've heard about the pushback from officials there in Chicago about the federal surge, perhaps in the Windy City. What's your take on all of it?
Look, the people in Chicago want to have a safe city. You cannot have a prosperous city without having law and order, and this is all that we're calling for. And President Trump is straightening that out. I can tell you, I finally got back to D.C. last week and could see a marked difference in what has happened with the National Guard providing logistics, providing a presence, providing a deterrent value for the people of Washington, D.C. And now the people of Chicago would be well served to have at least the National Guard help with some of these logistics operations, although it's a little bit of a sticky issue for President Trump to use this, to do this without the consent of the mayor and obviously the local officials. But look who's protesting. It's the same old Democrat, far left protesting groups that are opposing security, safety, and the hope for prosperity in the city of Chicago. When the people in Chicago are having to close down their buildings, and you're seeing continued murders and shootings going on because they don't have a strong police presence.
All right, let me close out. Yo, I have to say something. I said that Illinois was open carry. Illinois is not open carry. My little brother had me look it up as soon as I said that. They do have concealed carry permits, but people in Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, they don't register guns because they use those guns to shoot the 50 people that they shoot every weekend down there. So yeah, how do I feel about this deportation thing? He just asked me that. Um, I feel like it's a ugly look for America. It looks disgusting. But we should have honestly put a cap on it a couple years ago before it got to the point to where it is. And also, yeah, no other country feels like it's disgusting. They understand completely. For real. Like, look at I hate to say this and I hope y'all don't stop watching, but look at Egypt and Palestine. Now, those Palestinians were displaced and they just went to Egypt. Now, Egypt wants their ass up out of there. You know? Have y'all ever been to Minneapolis, Minnesota and seen all the Somalians? They deep. You know? Some parts of America are so empty It's like the whole country's empty. I feel like we can take and give that. Are y'all gonna start unfollow me if I finish that sentence? Well, just forget I said anything about that. For real, but nah, I wouldn't kick y'all out of the country. You know that. To my brown brothers, if it was up to me, I would. But it's not up to me. It's up to Trumpito, and he wants y'all out. Y'all got to go. For real. Make sure you tap that like and subscribe button. Until next time. Peace.